Afternoon, folks. What's the issue here?
Thank God. Officer, this man is violating clear HOA rules.
It's about my grill, officer. We've had it for years without a problem.
It's an eyesore and a safety hazard. I've told him to remove it.
I checked the guidelines. Grills are allowed in backyards.
Excuse me, you can't have that grill there. It's against HOA rules. Marcus Brooks looked up from his barbecue. A woman stood in his backyard. He had never invited her over. Oh hey, we've had this same grill for years. Okay, sure. Karen Mitchell crossed her arms. Well, I'm the HOA president, and I'm telling you it's a violation. I checked the guidelines. Grills are allowed in backyards. I decide what's allowed here, not you. Marcus's wife, Denise, stepped forward. We've lived here since this neighborhood was built. Karen didn't care. I don't care how long you've lived here. You'll remove it, or I'll have you fined, or evicted, your choice. Karen Mitchell had no idea what she just walked into. In the next 6 months, she would lose her HOA position. She would face a $4.9 million lawsuit. She would watch her reputation fall apart in the very community she claimed to protect. The quiet man flipping burgers in his backyard was not just a homeowner. Marcus Brooks was the developer who designed and built this entire neighborhood 15 years ago. Every street, every lot, every single HOA rule, Brooks had written them himself. He knew those rules better than anyone because he created them. His company had built 12 communities across the state, properties worth over $80 million. And that Sunday afternoon, 3 security cameras were recording everything, including every word Karen Mitchell was about to say. Before I continue, let me ask you this. Have you ever had someone in power treat you unfairly in your own home? Drop your answer in the comments. Karen Mitchell had no idea who she was threatening that Sunday afternoon. Marcus Brooks was 52 years old. His wife Denise was 49. Together, they had built something special. Marcus was the founder and CEO of Brooks Development Corporation. He had spent 28 years building homes and communities. He earned a degree in civil engineering from Howard University. Then he got his MBA from Wharton, one of the best business schools in the country. But here's what made this situation different. Marcus Brooks didn't just live in Meadowbrook Estates. He built it, every single house, every single street. He wrote the original HOA rules himself. His signature was on every page of those documents. His company had developed 12 neighborhoods and 3 shopping centers. His properties were worth over $80 million. He employed more than 200 people. The Brooks family moved into Meadowbrook Estates in 2009, not as buyers, as the people who created the whole neighborhood. They had 3 children. Marcus Jr. was 24, Aaliyah was 21, Jordan was 17. The family was active in their church. They were known for hosting neighborhood cookouts for 15 years. On this Sunday in June, Marcus Brooks was just trying to enjoy a quiet barbecue with his family. In the backyard of the home he built with his own hands. Now here's what happened next. Karen Mitchell had a reputation in Meadowbrook Estates, and it was not a good one. Karen was 58 years old. She used to work as an insurance adjuster before she retired. She had been HOA president for 2 years. She moved to the neighborhood in 2018. Here's where it gets interesting. Karen had filed 14 formal complaints in just 24 months, and when investigators looked closer, they found a troubling pattern. Let me tell you about some of her complaints. She complained about the Nguyen family's garden decorations. She called them foreign-looking. The complaint was dismissed. She reported the Martinez family for having too many cars. They had exactly 2 cars, same as their neighbors. Nothing happened. She cited the Johnson family for a basketball hoop. That hoop had been there for 8 years without any problems. She even complained about the Brooks family before. In 2022, she said their Christmas lights were too bright. Here's the pattern that investigators found later. 12 of her 14 complaints were against families of color. 0 complaints against white homeowners, even when they had the same things in their yards. Board members had a private name for her. They called her the enforcer, but not in a good way. Several families had thought about selling their homes just to get away from her. But this time, Karen Mitchell picked the wrong family, and she was about to find out exactly why. Let me know in the comments if you've ever dealt with someone like this. It was Sunday, June 15th. The time was 2:47 in the afternoon. The Brooks family lived at 847 Meadowbrook Lane. It was a beautiful suburb outside Atlanta, Georgia. The weather was perfect, 78 degrees with a light breeze. The smell of charcoal and burgers filled the air. Kids played in the backyard. Music played softly from a speaker. You could hear neighbors walking their dogs. Lawnmowers hummed in the distance. It was a normal summer day. The Brooks had guests over. Marcus and Denise were there with their 3 children. Denise's sister Angela had come from Charlotte to visit. 2 friends from church had stopped by. The backyard looked beautiful, professional landscaping everywhere. The grills sat on the patio. It had been in that same spot for 15 years. Then at 2:47, Karen Mitchell walked across the lawn. She did not ask permission. She held a clipboard in her hand. Her phone was already recording. She did not say hello. She did not greet anyone. She opened with an accusation about the grill. The children stopped playing. An uncomfortable silence fell over the backyard. What everyone did not know was that 3 cameras were recording. The doorbell camera, the backyard camera, the garage camera, all of them were on. What started as a relaxing Sunday was about to become something very different. If stories like this matter to you, hit that subscribe button now. Karen demanded the grill be removed right away. That grill needs to go today. Marcus stayed calm. It's been here for years. It's within the guidelines. Karen shook her head. I'm updating enforcement, new standards. Denise spoke up. Can you show us the specific rule we're breaking? Karen refused. I don't need to explain myself to you people. Marcus paused. What do you mean by you people? Karen ignored the question. She changed the subject. You'll receive fines starting at $500 per day. You can't evict us, Marcus said calmly. We own this home, no mortgage. Karen stepped closer. Her voice got louder. She made a comment about where they really came from. She questioned whether they actually belong here. That's when things changed. Denise's sister Angela stepped forward. Did you really just say that? Marcus Jr. pulled out his phone. He started recording. Jordan, the youngest, started crying quietly. She went inside the house. Karen kept going. She stepped even closer. She pointed her finger in Marcus's face. Her voice kept rising. Neighbors started looking out their windows. Denise moved between them. You need to leave our property now. I'm not going anywhere until you comply, Karen said. I run this neighborhood. Here's what Karen did not know. Every word she said was being recorded by 4 different cameras, and the man she was threatening had written every single rule she claimed to be enforcing. It's hard to watch someone be treated this way. Type justice in the comments if you agree. Marcus stayed calm. He turned to his wife. Denise, could you get the original documents from my office? Denise went inside. She came back with a folder. Inside were the original HOA rules from 2008, the ones that created Meadowbrook Estates. Marcus held them up for Karen to see. His name was on every page. His signature was at the bottom. He was listed as the developer who created the community. Anyone can fake documents, Karen said. I don't care who you think you are. Marcus looked her in the eye. I don't think I'm anyone, Karen. I built your house. I built every house on this street. I wrote the rules you're trying to use against me. But Karen did not back down. She doubled down. Well, things have changed. You don't run things anymore. That's when the neighbors got involved. James Crawford lived across the street. He had been a neighbor for 12 years. He walked over to Karen. Karen, you know the Brooks built this whole neighborhood. Everyone knows that. Patricia Holmes was walking her dog. She stopped when she heard the commotion. I've watched you harass this family for 2 years. It's wrong. David Chen, another neighbor, pulled out his phone. I'm calling the police. This has gone too far. 10 minutes later, David was on the phone with the non-emergency line. The time was 3:12 in the afternoon. Something beautiful happened in that moment. The community stood together. Neighbors who barely talked to each other came outside. They formed a quiet circle of support around the Brooks family. Karen suddenly changed her tone. She tried to sound friendly. "There's been a misunderstanding. I should go." Marcus shook his head. "No, you're going to stay right here until the police arrive. You threatened my family. You made comments about our race. You're not walking away from this." Karen started to panic. She looked at her phone. Neighbors saw her trying to delete her video. But it was too late. Everything had been recorded by the security cameras, by Marcus Jr., by Patricia Holmes, by James Crawford's doorbell camera across the street. By now, Karen was starting to understand how badly she had messed up, but she still had no idea how far this was going to go. Wait until you hear what happened when the police arrived. Comment below with what you think should happen to Karen. The police arrived at 3:31 in the afternoon. Officers Derek Williams and Sarah Martinez stepped out of their car. They separated everyone right away. They took statements from all the witnesses. 6 people gave their version of what happened. Officer Williams reviewed the security footage. On Marcus's phone, what he saw matched exactly what the witnesses said. Then they looked at Karen's story. It fell apart piece by piece. Karen said the Brooks were breaking HOA rules. Officers checked the actual rules. There was no violation. Karen said she was just doing her job, but witnesses confirmed she used words about race. Karen said the Brooks threatened her, but every video showed Marcus and Denise staying calm the whole time. Karen said she never said anything about race, but multiple recordings caught her saying, "You people," and asking where they came from. The officers made note of something else. This was the 3rd call involving Karen Mitchell in just 6 months. Officer Martinez gave Karen a verbal warning for trespassing. She had refused to leave private property when asked. The incident was written down as a possible civil rights matter. The officers told the Brooks family they had the right to take legal action. Karen went through several emotions. First denial, "This is ridiculous," then anger, "I'll sue all of you," then desperation, "Can't we just forget this happened?" After Karen left, the mood changed. Marcus held Jordan, who was still upset from crying. Denise thanked the neighbors who spoke up. Angela shook her head. "This is exactly why I moved away from the South." The barbecue was ruined. The guests left quietly, but the Brooks family felt something important. They felt supported by their community. The consequences for Karen Mitchell were just beginning, because while she was busy threatening the Brooks family, several phones had been recording, and someone had already started uploading. If you want to see more stories where people face real consequences, hit subscribe right now. By 4:30 that afternoon, Marcus Jr. uploaded his video to Twitter. His caption was simple: HOA Karen versus the man who built the neighborhood. By 5:30, the video had 15,000 views. The hashtag Meadowbrook Karen started trending in Atlanta. By 8:00 that night, Patricia Holmes posted her video to TikTok. It hit 200,000 views in hours. By 10:00, a local Atlanta news station reached out for a comment. By midnight, the videos had 1.2 million views combined. National news was starting to pay attention. By Monday morning, CNN picked up the story. So did MSNBC and other major outlets. In just 72 hours, the videos reached 4.7 million views. There were 89,000 shares, over 12,000 comments on the original video alone. People could not believe what they were watching. The comments came flooding in. She really told the man who built her house that he doesn't belong there. This is what HOAs are really about: control and discrimination. Mr. Brooks handled that with more grace than I ever could. The way he calmly pulled out the original documents, that was perfect. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution wrote about it, WSB-TV covered it, NBC Nightly News picked it up nationwide. The National Association of Realtors put out a statement. They talked about unfair HOA practices. Karen tried to do damage control. She deleted all her social media accounts, but people had already saved screenshots. She tried to send an apology through the HOA board. They refused to share it. She hired a company to fix her image. it was too late. The story was already everywhere. This story was shared millions of times for a reason. Share it if you think others should see this too. 3 days later, Karen made a decision that would cost her everything. She refused to step down from the HOA board, and Marcus Brooks called his lawyers. On July 8th, the Brooks family filed a lawsuit. They filed it in Meadowbrook County Superior Court. The lawsuit made several claims: harassment, causing emotional harm on purpose, breaking civil rights laws under the Fair Housing Act, hurting their reputation. The amount they asked for, $4.9 million. When lawyers started digging, they found something worse than anyone expected. Remember those 14 complaints Karen filed in 24 months? 12 of them were against families of color. 0 were against white homeowners, even when white homeowners had the same things in their yards. But that wasn't all. Investigators found emails between Karen and other board members. The emails showed she was targeting people on purpose. They found text messages where she talked about cleaning up the neighborhood. 3 other families came forward. They had gone through similar treatment from Karen. They joined the lawsuit. The HOA board held an emergency meeting. The vote was 47-3. Karen Mitchell was removed as president. The case took 18 months to finish. Here's what happened. The HOA's insurance paid $2.1 million. Karen personally had to pay $890,000. That's almost $3 million total. Karen was banned from ever holding an HOA position again, anywhere in the country. The case was sent to the Department of Justice. Their Civil Rights Division is reviewing it. Karen's husband owned a local business, Aft. The news spread, many clients stopped working with him. The Mitchell family put their house up for sale. They moved out of the state. Karen's lawyers wrote an apology for her. The Brooks family called it too little, too late. Marcus Brooks spoke to reporters. This was never about money. It was about making sure no family ever has to go through what we went through in our own home, in a neighborhood we built. But the story didn't end with the settlement check. Marcus Brooks had a bigger message to share. Marcus Brooks stood outside the courthouse. It was the day they announced the settlement. Reporters gathered around him. He spoke from the heart. My youngest son asked me if we were going to have to move. He asked if we did something wrong. A 17-year-old boy in his own backyard, made to feel like he didn't belong. Marcus paused, then he continued. I've built communities for 28 years. I know what it takes to create a neighborhood. But I also know now that building houses isn't enough. We have to build communities where everyone actually belongs. He had a message for families facing unfair treatment. Write everything down, find your voice, find your community, you have rights, and there are people who will stand with you. He had a message for HOA boards too. You have power, use it fairly, use it the right way, or understand that someone will hold you responsible. Marcus talked about what he wants to see change: training for all HOA board members about fair housing, better tracking of complaints, outside groups watching to make sure things are fair. He thanked everyone who helped. To our neighbors who spoke up, to the officers who listened, to everyone who shared our story, thank you for not letting this get swept away. Then he said something powerful. I built this neighborhood with my hands, but it took a community to protect it. This case showed something bigger than one Karen in one Atlanta suburb. This case was about more than one angry HOA president. Studies show that 53% of black homeowners face unfair treatment from their HOA. Complaints against black homeowners lead to fines 3 times more often than the same complaints against white homeowners. Most families can't afford to fight back in court. They don't have the money or the proof. The Brooks family had both. Plus, they had witnesses and video and national attention. After this case, Georgia started working on a new law. It would require HOAs to track complaints fairly and train board members about discrimination. The bigger question is simple: who gets to feel at home in America? So let me ask you, should HOA boards have to track complaints by race to spot patterns? Should there be outside oversight when HOAs keep targeting certain families? Should every homeowner have affordable help when their rights are broken? Because if we don't fix the problems in how HOAs work, if we don't hold people like Karen Mitchell responsible, if we don't help families who can't afford lawyers, then we're just waiting. Waiting for the next Karen, the next family scared in their own backyard, the next child asking their parents what they did wrong. Comment below if you believe HOA boards need oversight and fair training. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We're going to keep exposing these patterns. We're going to keep demanding better. We're going to keep fighting for fair treatment, for equal rights, for the simple freedom to live in your own home without being harassed. This isn't just about one HOA Karen or one developer who fought back. It's about what we accept, what we allow, and whether we're ready to build something better. See you in the next one.